1 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The foreign minister has expressed the hope that Pakistan's sincere efforts for the establishment of peace in Afghanistan will prove to be a success. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Information says practical steps are being taken for the protection of the rights of the labourers and the underprivileged class. The Pakistan Air Force has announced to remember in history its response on February 27 this year against the Indian aggression as Operation Swift Retort. A renowned international news agency, the Reuters, in its report has revealed that the Indian Army is using civilians as human shields during cordon and search operations in occupied Kashmir. And now the news in detail. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says Pakistan is hopeful that its sincere efforts for the establishment of peace in Afghanistan will prove to be a success. He was talking to an Afghan delegation comprising politicians, journalists, academicians, and businessmen in Islamabad today. The minister assured the members of the delegation that Pakistan will continue its efforts for peace in the region, particularly in Afghanistan. During the meeting, Pakistan-Afghan relations and matters of mutual interest, including the Afghan reconciliatory process, were discussed. The delegation members appreciated the role Pakistan has played for bringing the two sides on the dialogue table as part of the peace process. The delegation presented its proposals to the foreign minister for building trust between Pakistan and Afghanistan and enhancing bilateral political and economic cooperation. International Labour Day is being observed today with the renewed pledge to acknowledge and promote the dignity of the labourers. The theme of the day this year is Uniting Workers for Social and Economic Advancement. In her message on the Labour Day, the Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Information, Dr. Firdaus Ashik Awan, said Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf government is taking practical steps for the welfare and protection of the rights of the labourers and the underprivileged class. She said progress in the country is impossible without the improvement of the lot of the labourers, and the government considers labourers as important partners in building a Naya Pakistan. Prime Minister Imran Khan will formally launch Mazdoor Ka Ehsaas program in Islamabad today. It may be mentioned here that Mazdoor Ka Ehsaas program is being launched under the umbrella of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf's government's Ehsaas program. The Pakistan Air Force has announced to remember in history its response on February 27 this year against the enemy aggression as Operation Swift Retort. Addressing the 264th Air Staff presentation meeting in Islamabad today, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal Mujahid Anwar Khan, said the Pakistan Air Force's swift response during the recent Indo-Pak conflict was a demonstration of our firm resolve, capacity, and capability in thwarting the nefarious designs of the adversary. He reiterated his resolve that in case of any misadventure by the adversary, the Pakistan Air Force response will be even stronger than before. At the conclusion of the event, the Air Chief awarded trophies to the bases excelling in various domains. The Indian Army is using civilians as human shields during cordon and search operations in occupied Kashmir. A report published by the renowned international news agency, the Reuters, said hundreds of Indian soldiers descended on the scenic village of Pingilan in Pulwama district of occupied Kashmir on February 17th. The report said the Indian soldiers left 18 hours later, 4 Kashmiris martyred, and a row of houses were reduced to rubble. An unexploded missile had been planted in a rice field, and more than 120 villagers had sought treatment for exposure to tear gas beatings, and in some cases, mental trauma. The report said representative of the news organization spent 2 days in Pingilan, and interviews with more than 60 eyewitnesses indicate that soldiers forced the villagers to act as human shields. In occupied Kashmir, the Indian police and the troops, continuing their massive crackdown, arrested several people during raids in different areas of Pulwama district. According to media reports, at least 19 more Kashmiris were arrested by the forces personnel from Gudura, Neva, and Parigam areas of the district during fresh raids. The sixth round of US Taliban peace talks aimed at ending a 17-year-old war in Afghanistan is being held in Qatar today. The American Special Envoy for Peace in Afghanistan, Zalmay Khalilzad, would lead the talks, focusing on a declaration of a ceasefire to pave the way to an end to the fighting in that country. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.